Okay, so if you've made it this far in the cube, you've done some pretty complicated algorithms to it. And if you've memorized them, then the last couple ones are actually pretty easy because they make more sense than some of the other ones did before. If you keep track of what it's doing to the pieces and stuff. So anyways, we got the four corner pieces left to solve. That's it. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to orient them. That means flipping the yellow side onto the top for all of the four corners. And then once we do that, we're going to put each one where it goes. So, you know, the one with green, red, has to go in between the green and the red, but we're going to worry about that second. So there is a warning though. This is the first part of this is the part that you usually screw up the first time you're doing it. Just because you're not supposed to rotate the cube, you're supposed to do this U-turn in it, and at first you want to rotate the whole cube because that's what you've been doing before when you need to do something like that. But not this time, okay? So once you get in your head, it makes sense, and it's not bad. So let's do it. Let's solve the corners. All right, let's throw some wedding pictures in there. There you go. So let's do this, shall we? So you got the cube. Notice on this one we have one already solved. Great. The yellow's already on top. That's perfect. And we want to hold one so that one right here isn't solved. And there's two different cases and two different algorithms, but they're both very, very similar. So yeah. So let's start with this one, shall we? In this case, this is the piece we want to solve, and the yellow sticker is on the back where you can't see it. So in this case, you want to go D first. So flip the D clockwise. Then you want to go R, and D inverse, and R inverse. So you're going to undo that. And then you want to do that all over again. D, R, and undo that. D inverse, R inverse. Booyah. Now you got that yellow on top. Now don't rotate the cube. Okay, you rotate the cube, you mess this all up. We've totally screwed up this bottom here, but we've screwed it up into an algorithm that's only using D and R. Therefore, if we do this algorithm enough times, it will put these pieces back together and do whatever we wanted to do to the pieces that we did. It'll make sense. Okay, so then you flip the U face over and you do the next thing. You flip it until you get to one that's not solved here again. And you do that again. Now this one is the same case, so let's do it again, shall we? D, R, and then undo that. D inverse, R inverse. And then we repeat it. D, R, D inverse, R inverse. Voila, we got the yellow on top, and the bottom's still screwed up because this piece still isn't solved yet. So we rotate U, get that piece right there. It's the same case again. Boy, did I plan this bad, eh? So let's do it. DR, D inverse, R inverse. And you can get pretty fast at this. All right, now that we flipped that one up, notice the bottom went back. It was a true algorithm in that, you do it enough times, the cubic gets put back together. So up top here, now we've got, if we rotate this right so that the edges are right again, we have, and we take a look at the corners, we need to permute them. Okay, so here we have a different case, a different solve. And here we have the second possibility. If you put something that isn't, the corner piece that isn't solved in the back right up position, I guess I should be calling that, and the yellow sticker is on the right, then you have the other case. And before we were going DR and then undoing it, well, now we're going to go RD and undoing it. So RD and then undo it. R inverse, D inverse. There you go. And then you're going to repeat it one more time. RD, R inverse, D inverse. And there you go. Yellow sticker on top. Now rotate U to get, here's our last case, and I don't need to bore you with the details, so let's do it real fast here, and voila. Put that back where you got it, and we got all the top layer oriented just right. Okay, so now that we got the top layer oriented just right. We want to permute the corners. So here's the one I was working on before. If we make sure the edges are all lined up, because we made sure that was right, and we notice, oh, that corner piece is in the right spot. It's blue orange, and it's in between blue orange. This one isn't. This one isn't. Neither is that one. So that's a 3 cycle again, just like how before we were doing a 3 cycle on the edges. Now we're going to be doing a 3 cycle on the corners. And this one is pretty easy to think about. So here's how to intuitively do it. You want to take the piece you're modifying is going to be in the front upright position, and you're going to be using this back left down position as like your holder piece for this piece. And once you put that down there, you're going to figure out where you want this piece to go. This green orange piece should go in between the green and orange centers. So you're going to rotate that and put it there. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So here's the algorithm now. If you just want the straight up algorithm, you know, it's pretty nasty. So you're gonna put this piece down here. How are you gonna do that? You're gonna rotate it R inverse, then D2, then R. So now you've got that green, orange, yellow piece in that back corner. Now, once again, you don't want to rotate the cube, just rotate the top. So, where did we want that piece? We wanted it between the green and the orange, right there. So, how do we get that piece up here? Just by doing the same thing again. We want to go R inverse, D2, R. There, booyah, there's that piece. It's right there. Now what piece do we have down there? We have green, red. So let's go to green, red right there. Now let's put that piece down in there. R inverse, D2, R. There we go. And then finally we have a piece that's gonna go in the only one possible. R inverse, D2, R. And there you go. Now, if you use the approach I just gave you to solve it, where I didn't just give you the big long algorithm, you can do all the different cases. You can do the ones where they're diagonally. You just gotta, you know, put it down there in that back right position and then figure out where it goes. And put the next one where it goes. And if you ever get to the point where you're only swapping 2, well, then you got the other 2 and you just swap them out. So instead of a 3 cycle, you could have had a 4 cycle. I guess I'll show that. Okay, so here we have a 4 cycle. This was the other cube I was doing, cube number 2. And notice when you put all the edges in the right spot, nothing lines up right. It's just they're all in the wrong. All the corners are in the wrong spot. But is there any rhyme or reason to it, right? So you notice this piece, green, orange, where does that go? That goes diagonally opposite. Green and orange goes right there. And then these two are diagonally opposite. So you can do it the same way. There's a much more efficient way of doing it, but just for the purposes of the beginner's method, let's do it again. So you're going to take this green, orange and put it down. R inverse, D2, R. You're going to flip it, U2. Now you got that diagonal one there. R inverse, D2, R, U2 again. You're going to put it back there. R inverse, D2R. There we go. Now we've solved those 2 corners. We need to solve the other 2. So do a U or a U inverse move. Now let's move that one down there, shall we? Do a U2. Let's move that one. Put it in the right spot. R inverse, D2, R. And then another U2. And put it right there. And voila. You have completed the cube and you can officially do it now. And that's all you really need to know. I'm sure I'll make a video later on the quicker ways to doing some of those cases. We did the diagonal case. There could be a case where all 4 are in the wrong spot, but they just need to go next to each other. And that's actually quicker to do because then you just swap the 2 do a U. The important thing is to never rotate the cube again. In that situation, you're only doing U moves and R moves, well, and D moves too, to move the pieces. Okay, so that is that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you finally solve the cube, and I hope you just get faster at it. I think the end is pretty intuitive, and since you have to do it every solve, you get pretty fast at that specific algorithm of R inverse D2R, and you know, everyone does it their own way. But yeah, Michael Skeleton signing out. Oh wait, did I mention you should go to www.wiseoz.com and join the Mechanical Puzzles Circle of Interest, because we're cool.